Breaking news coming in this afternoon. The court has declared that the PEC that saw Sihle Zikalala, oust Senzo Mchunu, declared null and void. The Provincial Executive Committee will be in fact barred from the 54th ANC conference. PEC members can now only attend as branch members. This is breaking news coming through this afternoon. The court has declared that the PEC that saw Sihle Zikalala, oust Senzo Mchunu, is declared null and void. The Provincial Executive Committee will in fact be barred from the 54th ANC conference. PEC members can now only attend as branch members. But to give some clarity and detail, we are now joined by KZN ANC spokesperson Mdumiseni Ntuli, joins us on the phone line. Good afternoon to you, spokesperson. Thank you for joining us here on ANN7. Initial reactions to the court declaring that the PEC was null and void.
First and foremost, I must declare in advance that as the leadership of the ANC, we haven't received formal communication from the legal team that attended the judgment. It's due to be handed down this morning, about half an hour ago. We've heard comments in the media, and we've heard that some media houses are breaking the story about it. But be that as it may, we knew from the beginning that the judgment can either go this way or the other way. And our resolve is to ensure that if the judgment does not produce the outcomes which we believe are appropriate and rational in the context of how the ANC constitution is supposed to be interpreted, the matter is going to be now urgently taken directly to the Supreme Court of the Appeal. We will have no choice but to petition the Supreme Court of the Appeal because we believe that it will be a traverse of justice if the courts are saying the current interpretation of the ANC constitution is inappropriate and wrong, and therefore we should follow a mechanical exercise for a political party which for over a period of time has been interpreting and applying its constitution without any problems in the manner that was done when we were preparing for the conference in KwaZulu-Natal.
Spokesperson, this conference is meant to kick off this evening with the gala dinner, and it's meant to officially start tomorrow with very little time left. Is there concern around the impact that this court ruling could have on this elective conference beginning tomorrow?
Well, the delegates of KwaZulu-Natal is represented by more than 700 delegates. And I can tell you and the viewers at home that all of these KwaZulu-Natal are facing one direction. They are focused, they are single-mindedly focused. They understand that whatever challenges emerge as a result of the court decision in Pietermaritzburg to impact on their commitment and their undertaking to come to Nasrec and discharge their responsibilities that were assigned to them by various branches in our province and lately the Provincial General Council. So there is no ambiguity, there is no doubt about how we're going to be moving forward. Anything that affects the 27 delegates of the Provincial Executive Committee will have a very, very minimal impact, if any at all, on the numbers of KwaZulu-Natal. But I can tell you that in terms of the spirit, the focus, the approach that has been adopted by our province, it has no impact whatsoever.
Just on the voting process and issues that could possibly affect it there, will these PEC members still be able to vote, or will they just be attending as branch members? If you could just provide some clarity in that regard.
The 27 members of the Provincial Executive Committee, the issue as to whether they are going to be voting or not, when we have taken the matter to the Supreme Court of the Appeal, will be determined by the national leadership of the organization. But we don't have a problem, even if those PEC members were to be directed not to vote. They are just 27. All other delegates from our province are participating, and they understand where we're going.
Is there concern that there might be protest action or some sort of resistance to this court ruling?
Well, we don't think so. We think that matters are now in the court of law, and all of us must deal with them on the basis of the legal avenues at our disposal. If the matter is not in our favor, we take it to the Supreme Court of the Appeal, and anybody else who's unhappy with that must also challenge the process on the basis of the legal jurisprudence of our country, not any other chaos or protest.
Just lastly, spokesperson, and just confirmation, you did mention earlier that the ANC has not received any sort of formal statement or anything stating that this is indeed the case and that the court has ruled?
That's quite correct. We are still waiting for our legal team who are in court in Pietermaritzburg to communicate to us formally what we are hearing in the media, if it is true. So we are commenting on it because it is now a public narrative, but we can't confirm or deny whether or not that is an actual decision of the High Court in Pietermaritzburg.
All right. Thank you very much, spokesperson, for your time in unpacking those details for us, also providing some clarity with regards to this. That was KZN ANC spokesperson Mdumiseni Ntuli joining us on the phone line with regards to the news that the court has declared that the PEC that saw Sihle Zikalala, Senzo Mchunu declared null and void. The Provincial Executive Committee will in fact be barred from the 54th ANC conference. PEC members can now only attend as branch members. Although the ANC has not received official communication of this news, they're saying that at this point the ANC cannot confirm nor deny this breaking news coming through. But stay tuned to ANN7. We are going to continue discussing this and talking about this. But the ANC spokesperson did mention that if this is the case, then they will be taking this directly to the Supreme Court of Appeal, and stating that those 27 PEC members, whether or not they will be voting, that will ultimately depend on the top 6 of the ANC and the National Executive. They will be making that final decision. Also stating that the ANC is not expecting any uproar or marches or protests taking place in this regard. But we are going to continue now getting comment coming in with regards to this breaking news. We are joined on the phone line by political commentator Jackie Shandu. Good afternoon to you. This breaking news coming through here, even though the ANC has not received any official statement yet, just your reaction to the court possibly declaring the PEC that saw Sihle Zikalala, Senzo Mchunu being declared null and void.
Yeah, it's quite shocking and quite disturbing news. More so because it does somewhat seek to have implications in terms of the conference that begins tomorrow, the national conference, which will also elect the national leadership of the ANC tomorrow, you know. So the timing is also very tricky, you know. We are less than almost 24 hours away from the nomination and the voting for the national leadership of the African National Congress. So, well, it remains to be seen how the ANC is going to respond to that. What that means in terms of the delegates, the validity of the delegates that have already been basically dispatched by KZN. I'm aware that they are already here in Gauteng dealing with their accreditation and so on and so forth. So it would be interesting to see how far reaching the judgment goes in terms of the status of the voting delegates that are already here waiting to cast their vote for their preferred candidate tomorrow. But I mean, it's just it's become a very worrying trend. These political battles that are fought via the courts, it goes to show how much you know, our political landscape has, party politics in particular, has degenerated. This failure of leaders and comrades to resolve you know, differences internally, you know, these kinds of things basically erode, they undermine, you know, the fabric of you know, party politics itself. You know, you may as well shut political parties down and have all these decisions taken by courts, because seemingly political parties, political leaders are unable to resolve these sorts of differences internally. So it doesn't inspire confidence, particularly for the young people who also want to join political parties and rise within the ranks, become leaders, that ever so often, once there are differences inside political parties, before internal processes and mechanisms are exhausted, it becomes very easy for political certain members of political parties to then resort to courts. It's unsustainable. It's really unsustainable. And I think this conference also of the ANC should make a decisive decision about how to resolve these political differences moving forward and how to deal with members and leaders that are very easy, even without exhausting internal mechanisms, to resort to courts on political matters that can and should be resolved internally and politically.
Definitely. Mr. Shandu, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. We appreciate you talking to us. That was political commentator Mr. Jackie Shandu joining us on the phone line.